I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice.
Do your own research.
Consult a professional investment advisor before making any investment decisions.
This show is for entertainment only. Faites vos propres recherches.
Here we are
in another episode
of the Simple Success Podcast.
And
this is financial life coaching from a happiness perspective.
Previously on Simple Success.
Yeah, I remember when we did that game show thing. Oh, so this previously on concept is working. Cool. Yeah, not bad. We might think of some new ways to use it.
And now, just like with a previously on thing on TV, we take you directly to this week's episode.
Multiple sources, multiple sources, multiple sources, multiple sources. Oh, that old idea again? Again? This week? Oh, not just this week, my dear DT, but last week and the next 3 weeks, too. At least. And for a very good reason, my cantankerous bodies of caterpillars. Right, I saw that one coming, but why? You mean besides the repetition? Yeah, I mean besides that. Because we have no idea what we're doing, that's why. We don't? No, we don't. I mean, not you and I, but generally speaking, people. Why do you think there's how-to stuff everywhere? I thought it was so we could get better. Who doesn't want to get better?
Well, when you put it that way.
True that, but we often try to get better by changing our approach, by doing more of what works. Yeah, and less of what doesn't, right? Good start, but there's one more level to that.
I am not a mind reader. Words work better.
Funny, Vina. What's the level, John? It's the level of do it anyway. Clarification, please.
Пожалуйста.
Por supuesto. Even when you stop doing what doesn't work, there's no guarantee of what will work. Oh, but do it anyway. I get it. Well, yeah. Wouldn't you like to figure out just how good you can be? I would like to do that. Can I do that with your MSI idea? You can. I suppose you'd like ideas about that?
Agreed.
Very robotic of you, DT.
Agreed.
Okay, got it. It's not the time for repetition like that. Agreed. And you have something to add today, I hope? I do. And it's not going to be as lame as last week. Last week was lame? Oh, I guess not, but the part about examples was pretty common stuff. Okay, but it was in a new light. Yeah, but this week I suggest that you come up with a bit more unusual stuff. Okay, I'll do that. I'll have to think about that a bit, since just adding a real estate angle to MSIs is not exactly mind-blowing. Maybe not, but I'd be willing to bet that if you called it the Feynman technique, after that world-famous scientist Richard Feynman, I bet you'd perk up some ears with that. I'll have to think about that. Meantime, come apace, and I will fetch up some goats. Thanks. I'm going to pass on that. Sorry, what I meant to say was, and this is the Feynman technique, teach it to a toddler and explain it to your mom. Oh, that's like what you learned in investing school. It is, which was, be sure you'd be okay with your answer being on the front page of the newspaper. Which is pretty parallel with explaining an idea to your mom, isn't it? It is, which is exactly what Feynman meant. If you can explain an idea to your mom,
Por ejemplo.
right, for example, then you really understand it yourself. Because, like Woody Hayes once said, you're either getting better or you're getting worse. Meaning that you're going to change for the better or for the worse over time. Which one it is entirely your choice. It's something about which you must be very deliberate and intentional. Even while being unconventional. Yeah, with conventional wisdom. Hey, before we have our first break today, yes? Would you mind sharing a few of the ideas we'll talk more about in Act 2? You mean like leveraging chiropractic clinic spaces? Yeah, or maybe vacation rentals with a twist. Oh, unusual things. Yeah, things that are fun. Yeah, I'll think about that more during
Break number 1.
Hello, everyone. This is John with the Simple Success Podcast, financial life coaching from a happiness perspective. Because we know you want to show us some serious love in return for the tremendous benefits you get from us, please subscribe to us in your favorite podcast player. You can find us on both the App Store and the Play Store because our message is for everyone. Leave a rating for us, or even better, tell a friend. Whichever you choose, thank you so much for helping us do this for you. To leave us a written message, which just might lead to more in a future podcast, go to those same written show notes to find our subreddits. There is also our Facebook group page, Twitter, and other ways which we'll tell you about from time to time. You can also find an Easter egg every so often, so listen closely. Thank you again, and keep those constructive ideas coming. I'm late for a very important date. No time to say.
Bonjour, tot ziens.
I'm late. Sounds to me as though you'd be pretty good at imagining, John. Yes, well, I've learned that it just doesn't do to get the queen mad, you know. Just like it doesn't do to be predictable. Right, according to my cats, anyway. So tell us more about those unusual real estate ideas of yours. Do you mean like the chiropractic clinic I told you I was going to think about? Yeah, you can start with that one. Go ahead, I'm waiting. Okay, hear me out. It's a way to generate additional income while what? While not throwing away the things at which you've previously succeeded. Oh, kind of like our previously on thingies.
As you like it.
Kind of. Imagine a scenario where a chiropractor not only provides healing treatments, but also generates additional income. Imagining, that's not a big stretch, by the way. Just wait, I'm getting there. It's the additional income part that might surprise you. Oh, okay, so it's not just being different to be different. Well, it kind of is, but it's for a purpose and a reason beyond that. How so? It's being different so as to not be predictable. And that is tied to success? It is, because not being predictable means, among other things, yes, among other things, it means that you won't find any built-up objections coming from surprising listeners.
You are welcome, Donada, Dorian.
Okay, so what might you do to generate that additional income? In the chiropractor case, the chiropractor might first take the necessary steps to buy and own their clinic. And then they can rent out the extra space to other medical professionals who have some complementary practice which does not compete directly. And that's just a simple starter. That could boost their income. Yeah, by just taking the idea that one has to have a clinic and realizing that owning your workplace can give you a lot more just by opening your mind.
You probably have an open mind.
You know, that was kind of the Airbnb approach, wasn't it? What was the Airbnb approach? Vacation rentals that were not traditional. Oh, I see. Yeah, I get that. What different things were offered? Oh, lots of things. Tree houses, train cars, shipping containers. Ways to make money that are right in front of your nose sometimes. You just don't have the experience with them yet. Yeah, there's a niche market for those one-of-a-kind experiences, isn't there? There is, but we don't have to stop there. Okay.
I have an idea.
What's that, Joanna? Her idea is another real estate one you won't guess. My ears are on. Up on the rooftop, solar leases. Oh yeah, that's a good one, solar leases. Hey, demand for solar stuff is going way up, as we know. But what we might miss is that this means a really lucrative option for real estate owners. Yeah, lease out the roof, why not? No reason why not, except for the not ever thinking of it reason. So it's really not the, what's it called, the Pygmalion effect. No, not really. I've been through that exact thing as well, though, so we might want to do a future show on that. You mean where you give a better performance when you know that someone else is expecting it? That I do. Everything is in psychology, as you know. Or psychology isn't everything, as you actually say. That I do, and I am most well corrected by you. Okay, so let's review real quick. Yeah? We could rent out our professional space. We could rent out unusual spaces. What else? How about urban farming? Is that like African farming? No, but it is unusual. Describe. Sure thing. Visualize a garden with dividers, just like any other community space. Yeah, only it's on a commercial building rooftop that you own or that you're leasing. Assuming you can sublease. Right, but even if you can't, which you'd know ahead of time, you're still doing unusual things, which is right on point for an MSI. And for doing things you can't otherwise do, like Picasso said. Yeah, that too.
That's good.
So what's in it for them? Who? The urban gardeners for your idea. Oh, well, that's another angle you can research, but some ideas there could be to supply local restaurants or farmers markets. Maybe even start one or more of those. Yeah, I mean, if you got a desire to do so, why not? So, I'm getting the idea that your ability to make money is limited only by your imagination. It can be. After all, it was merely Einstein who told us that imagination is more important than knowledge. Wow, that's who said that. Yeah, I have to say that this show has given me some really wonderful ideas so far. And there's more to come. More about storage units, parking spaces, mobile home parks, and even data centers. To name just a few, which we explore in great depth.
But first, break number 2.
We know a lot about you already because we know ourselves. For example, we know that you know how to listen to our podcast. We also know that you probably know how to subscribe. So as soon as you're done with that, tell us your story. We have ways you can contact us. It involves a special link where you can leave us a message. We may have an email address for you as well in the future, and we'll let you know if that happens. The reason for subscribing? I thought you'd never ask. When you subscribe, you automatically download all future episodes of that podcast. It just happens in your player without you having to go search again. How cool is that? This means better rankings for the podcast, more attention from advertisers, and more money. And this means more and better stuff for you. So your motivation is simple and easy. Subscribe today, whatever app and from whatever place you like. And don't just try to subscribe. There is no try. There is only do. We're changing the way we look at things, and remember, that's good. Eso es bueno, Sybil. Also remember, this is financial life coaching from a happiness perspective. Coaching happiness. Our call to action is right in the show notes. Find it, and you win too. Can I simple that? Por supuesto. Of course. Just simple it.
Please make sure your seat belts are fastened and your tray tables are in their upright position.
And make sure simple is a verb like Google is a verb. ADT? Yes, John? Are you getting the idea that you have to actually do something here? Yeah, and I was wanting to ask you about that.
I was myself that wondering.
Okay, DT, what then was your question? What do you mean I have to do something? Oh my goodness, my dear DT. I simply mean that it is action you must take. What kind of action? Action related to the idea you have that you feel is the best one. My primary goal, you mean?
I'm no longer that wondering. Dula.
Goals are essential for success and they help keep us motivated.
Yes, but you can't just imagine that a goal will happen without you doing anything. True. As someone once said, there is always a part that you must play.
Napoleon Hill Court detected.
So even when you do that, what is it called? Manifesting? Yeah, that. Even that requires you to take some real-world action, doesn't it? It does. Just maybe that's something you supposedly can't do. So the belief gets involved. And emotion. You have to charge things emotionally if you really want to have them happen, you know. I think that's interesting. I may have a few follow-up questions later on.
Tell us quietly right now and we'll Google them.
No, Kevin, that's too easy. I'm not going to just let you spit out Googled answers.
No comment.
Yeah, right, I didn't think so. Hey, John? Yeah, DT? Any other creative ideas today? One principle I'm going to quote first, and then a few creative ideas, okay?
This is a good thing.
Okay, what's the principle? It's from an audiobook I listened to yesterday called The Potential Principle by Mark Sanborn. No, that's where. I asked what.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you did. And here's the what. Quote, no matter how good you become, you can become better. unquote. So even if you practice for the entire 10,000 hours or more and get really good, then you can still get better, which is when you can come up with even more real estate related MSIs or other MSIs, like things like airspace rights, self-storage units, parking spaces. Parking spaces? How can you profit from that? Differential da. Oh, don't say that now. I want to know. Patience. You will, DT. Don't worry. You'll learn this stuff so well, it will be second nature. Meantime, just keep practicing, persisting, and repeating. Yeah, okay, John. I'll do just that. Watch me. Oui, je le ferai. Yes, I will. And then there's data centers, mobile home parks.
Which is how you've all gotten good.
Gracias por escuchar.
Salut. À la prochaine.
No robots were hard in the making of this podcast.
This podcast and our other podcast are productions of Little Red Hen Industries. The supporting cast who helps me bake the bread includes
Techno King, John Brandy, Alter Ego, Doubting Thomas, Fact Checker, a small brown beef animal, really tiny. Facts are important but are also easy. Social Manager, Abraham Lincoln, Media Expert, Augustus Caesar, Psychologist, William James, Sound Designer, Adobe's Creative Suite, Language Consultant, Leah, the French do-your-own research lady, Videographer, Ertaman Koshki, Audio Props, Les Paul, Inspiration, many podcasts and other sources, and of course Napoleon Hill.
We also have websites, and you can subscribe to both podcasts. You can even send us a video, audio, or text message, but of course, you'll have to head to the show notes, either on your phone or on the web, to get the links and stuff.
And before we forget, the artificial intelligence or AI voices that you hear in our work are offered up by Google, Amazon Polly, and OpenAI, like we say in the show notes. They don't sponsor us yet, but we love what they do, and we just love what AI can do when lovingly crafted.
Finally, you can find us on podmatch.com, matchmaker.fm, Podbooker, and Podcast Guests, where we consider guests and consider guesting on other people's shows.
And really finally, our music comes from Cute by Ben Sound and from Piano Background by Nick Simon Adams. Thanks also to AI MuseNet, Suno.ai and Ace Studios. The sound effect credits go to Jackson Academy Ashmore, Canoe CG, Dr. Jekyll, Joe Payne, Everything Sounds, MK Play More Stories, ERH, Sand Emotions, Big Pickle 51 and Just Kidding. Yes, that's his or her name. All on freesound.org. Also, languages are the bomb.
Paul.